Hello, everybody. My name is John Cook, and I'm the co-founder of the Seattle-based technology news site, GeekWire. At GeekWire, we love telling stories about innovators, entrepreneurs, and business leaders in our community. And tonight, I'm really thrilled to welcome back to the stage a really, truly inspiring leader. It's my pleasure to welcome back Bev Anderson. Quick transition there, I know.
Exactly.
Bev, it's really great to sit down with you and have a fireside chat without the fire. I got the pleasure to come and meet you for the first time a few weeks ago at the Tukwila BECU campus. And since you're a newcomer to the Seattle area, I had our GeekWire team sit down and say, let's craft a guide list. Let's give her a list of things she could do in the Seattle area and the Great Pacific Northwest. Everything from the Ballard Farmers Market to hiking in the San Juans to a concert at the Gorge. So I'm checking in on you to see how you're doing on checking off our list of amazing things to do in the Pacific Northwest.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, John, for being here this evening. And thank you for that list. Now, it's in the back. And if you were to see it, it would look like a banker's scorecard. I apologize.
Awesome.
But I've gone through the list and I've checked off all the things that sound like exactly what you said to do. For example, in Orcas Island, going to Mount Constitution, I've done that, and I took a picture of the Vancouver Island even.
Nice.
Yeah, so how about that?
Good for you. Well,
now,
one of my favorite places in the Northwest.
Now, one of the things that I gave myself a half credit for, you mentioned going to the botanical gardens. Well, I did you one better. I saw the tulips. And I even drove to get there. The Tulip Festival that happens somewhere north. I just remember sitting in traffic for a long time. The other thing, you mentioned a whole kind of festival of food. Well, I didn't quite do that, but I have discovered the lobster chowder at Duke's.
Oh, I love Duke's.
And that's what got me through the winter, that and 10 pounds. So very happy. So I'm working on the list and keeping score.
You are making great inroads on the list, so that's great to hear. Seriously, it's a big transition coming from a place like Atlanta to Seattle. And I'm curious what has stood out to you about integrating and coming to this community and being a part of this great community that we have here in Seattle.
Well, the first thing I will say is everyone talked about the Seattle freeze. I don't know what that is. People have been so incredibly generous with their time, with their contacts, welcoming to this wonderful, beautiful city. I take pictures every day and I send them to my family who are all coming out in August because now they have to come see real mountains and things like that. So it's been wonderful. I think the culture, the ease at which things tend to happen, everybody's just so relaxed. I've learned that I've had to listen a little longer, take a little breath every once in a while, and that's all right. You kind of have to do that in the South too, though, in Atlanta. That's a different kind of pause, but you sort of have to do the same thing.
Yeah, so you're getting the West Coast vibe down.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, cool. Well, you've been on the job about 6 months. You took over from Benson Porter, who retired after 10 years at the credit union. What has been the first 6 months? What's it been like for you?
Oh, my goodness. Well, first of all, I have to say, Benson was an incredible leader and left this organization in such great shape. So my job is just not to kill it and to hopefully do a really good job continuing to build on Benson's legacy. But we've been busy over the first 6 months. I think if you ask the teams, they'd say we've had a lot of meetings. It's been great to get to meet people and have people get to meet me. We've done a lot of business deep dives, so I'm learning lots about the credit union, the cooperative model. I've gone out and around to visit our NFCs, our neighborhood financial centers, and that's been fantastic. We've also been working on our strategy and vision for the future, and that's a wonderful, wonderful body of work that we recently met with our board and took our board through. They say they liked it. I don't know if they're just being Seattle nice or if they really liked it. But we're getting ready to share that with the organization in a couple of weeks, and I'm just so excited for us to head down new journeys, which is just really all about serving our members more.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting business strategy just to not mess it up.
Exactly.
But it sounds like you've got a plan ahead. So maybe you could give
Absolutely.
some insights into that plan and what you have coming for the next 6 months or 12 months.
Yes. Well, I don't want to steal the thunder for the
Oh, I'm a
teams in the town
I'm a
hall.
news person,
I
so I'm
know.
always looking for the scoop.
I
So
know you are. But we sat down and as a team and with the board, we've got 4 priorities. One was, in fact, figuring out what our vision and strategy is. And it really is about serving our members and being very deliberate about, what segments of the market, what are their real needs, and what are some distinctive and unique value propositions or services and products and member experiences that we can provide. So you'll start to see some of those change. The second is then creating an execution path. How do we do that? And for us, we actually had to reprioritize some things. We need to get some foundational things done, and then we'll do some growth kinds of efforts. And then I think finally it was around making sure we're organized for success. We wanted to get people in the right roles, get the organization structured in a way that we can all move forward together. And honestly, that's all been so well received. So we're moving. It's exciting.
awesome. Well, you hinted at it in your opening remarks that this period that we've gone through has been challenging, both in the financial industry, but coming out of the pandemic. I'm curious, and this will get into your leadership style a little bit, but how do you navigate personally and lead an organization through turbulent times?
Well, it has been a set of turbulent times. And just when we thought maybe we were getting through it, here comes inflation. And then all of the Fed actions, which then led to this, I'll call it a mini banking crisis. But it's been an interesting time. I'm so excited about the strength of BECU because we navigated these last several weeks in just such positive fashion. Our deposits are strong, liquidity is strong, our capital is strong, so all of that's good. But as a leader, you have to lead from the front. So I engage deeply and meaningfully with my team every single day. If there's an issue or a crisis, we dig in and we figure it out. And then I empower my team to go and get the work done. I enjoy knowledge. I enjoy learning. So, maybe the team would say I might ask a few questions and dig in a little deeply, but it's only as a way to learn so that I can be helpful. I'm an engaged and passionate leader, and I love working with the team every day.
Well, that's a great segue because I actually, and as a journalist, I have to do my due diligence and do my background research before interviewing somebody like you. And so I reached out to a Seattle venture capitalist who I've known for many years, who's a mutual acquaintance of yours because he attended Harvard Business School with you. And I said, what's Bev like? And here's what he said.
Oh, dear.
Yes, you ready for this? Going off script here a little bit. He said, Bev was very different than the typical business school student. She had a very low ego, was thoughtful, and open to hearing others' opinions, and caring. And then he said, these self-aware qualities have done wonders for her in her career.
Oh.
Now, I don't know if that's a damnation on business school people or just a glowing terms for you, which I'm sure it's the latter. But I'm curious where those qualities came from.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, when he says I was very different, I think he means I was older because I went to business school a little bit older than other people in my class. But you know what? I think those qualities, start from the very beginning and with my parents, who were just incredible people, left this earth way too soon. My brother and sister and I miss them every day. But my mom was this incredible nurse, and she cared deeply for people, but there was never a time when you were not clear exactly what she meant. And so if people have experienced me, they might say, maybe you took a little bit of that quality from your mom.
So maybe with the Seattle passive-aggressive nature, that won't work so well? Or?
I hear myself saying to people all the time, well, what are you really saying? Yeah. So I think that's a little bit of that. And then with my dad, he was a business manager at a vocational school that was really a catalyst to bring people around the state together to do vocational training. We called him the mayor. Everybody knew him. everybody loved him. He was out and about. He was the treasurer of this and the supporter of that and just all this kind of stuff. And I always just loved trailing him wherever he was because I just loved the fact that we would wave at everybody and smile at everybody and say hello. And so maybe a little bit of, who I am came from him as well. And then just over the years, I've had such incredible mentors, great opportunities to learn. I've learned a lot of lessons along the way. Not all of them were easy ones to learn, but I did. And I just have always had a sense of caring. When people say, well, what's your superpower? I say mine is service because that's really at the heart what I love to do.
Is there a lesson that you can take away from maybe a hardship or something that didn't go as planned?
I think it's resilience. I mentioned that I'd been in this industry for 30 years, and there's an opportunity that I have right now at this stage in my career that maybe should have come years ago. But the path is the path, and I think resilience has been the lesson that I've learned. Just stick with it. Just stay focused and keep going. And good things always come.
Wonderful. Great advice. So I know this is on my mind, everyone's mind here. Let's talk about the economy for a little bit.
All right.
You mentioned inflation, rising mortgage rates. It's topsy-turvy time in the financial world. So what do you see as the biggest challenges and opportunities for you and BECU in a period such as this?
That's a great question. Right now, there's such uncertainty. I think we're probably closer today than we've been at believing a recession of some sort is coming. How deep, how long, how shallow, I'm not sure we know. But I was just listening to a podcast around the debt markets, excuse me, and the fact that we're certainly seeing things like tightening credit. That's happening, across the industry. We're seeing consumers start to take a step back and get on the sidelines as it relates to borrowing. And this, I'm speaking macro now. We know that rates are still high, and we know they're not coming down anytime soon. The question is whether or not they're going to continue to go up. And we've been in a prolonged period of growth and expansion for quite a long time. There was a lot of money in the system.
Free money.
Free money.
that era is over. Yeah.
I think that era is over, and that means that there's bound to be a correction. Mm-hmm. So what I know though is that for institutions like ours, where we're financially strong and stable, we will always be here to serve our members and to address their needs. So wherever our members may be in their own financial journey, we'll have solutions, we'll have opportunities and ways to be supportive.
So you mentioned, and I'll let you get a drink of water there, that credit market, maybe there's tougher access to credit for the members. What does that mean for those 1.4 million members of BECU?
Well, it means that we will continue to do our very best to serve their needs. And we've got business members and consumer members, and people will always need the opportunity to borrow. They'll need the opportunity for places to put their money, and we will serve those needs in whatever way we possibly can.
Great. And in terms of you mentioned the bank failures, I'm just kind of curious how much of your time is spent reassuring your members that your money is safe, we're going to get through this period, we're a stable organization. How much of your time has been spent on that?
I think we do this every day. I think every day the doors open, the lights come on, and our member consultants greet our members. The smile, the support, the way in which they engage says that we're here to serve, and we're here to make sure that you know that we're strong, stable, financially resilient, and ready to serve the needs. So, as an extension through my 2,800 employees, I think we do this every day. The good news is our members, I think, know that. We listened in all of our listening posts over those few weeks where every day there was something in the news about a bank. And we didn't hear much other than members saying, we know you guys are in good shape, and we thank you for that. We didn't hear a lot of negative noise or anxiety from members, I think because people know that we're strong. It's a very strong organization.
Great. So I was meeting with a banker earlier today, and unsolicited, he said to me, and I mentioned I was going to be speaking to you later, but he brought up BECU, and he brought it up in the context of a lot of the advancements that you've made on the digital side and the technological side, which is where we spend a lot of time at GeekWire. And so I was curious, what, as you hear that, he said you're a leader in
Wow.
technology and digital innovation. And you cited some of the examples in the videos earlier. I'm curious what you see ahead in terms of transformation on the digital side and what members might be able to expect going forward, and what's top of mind for you.
Absolutely. Well, the first thing I would say is we've made incredible investments and will continue to make incredible investments in technology, innovation, digital capabilities. One of the not to take you back, I'll answer the questions, but one of the very first stories I ever heard about BECU was the fact that we were the first to have cashless NFCs. So this organization's been innovating for quite some time. And we do an incredible job. You saw our virtual banking. That's game-changing for some members. We've got our mobile app, and there will be so many more investments that we'll need to do, not only for front-end things that our members can see and take advantage of, but even in the back of the house, which is so important because that fuels everything we do. So rationalizing our tech stack, making sure that we've got the latest and greatest technology that supports our data privacy, and all of those kinds of things are things that we'll be investing in. But we certainly will want to figure out how we do chat. Everyone's talking about generative AI.
Yeah, it's top of mind.
We'll have to lean into those things too, but we'll do it responsibly, and we'll do it in ways that just make our members' engagements with us even better.
Some people are fearful of AI and the changes it might bring into industry. How do you see that transforming the financial industry and your relationship with members?
I believe that AI is going to transform everything. And I believe we are right as a society to be both excited about it and to be cautious. There are things that we don't know. When the leaders of these new technologies say that maybe we ought to
put the brakes
on
right.
Or put some guardrails around it, that probably should tell us something. But our ability to use that to provide financial advice, to take the friction out of everyday activities, I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Let's change gears just for a moment here. So you're one of the few female Black CEOs leading a major financial institution in the country. We heard fourth largest credit union in the U.S., largest in Washington State. How has that journey as a Black female CEO shaped you, and just shaped your experience? I'd love to hear more about that.
Oh boy, I could probably talk for hours. First of all, it's humbling and it's such an honor. Thank you. Some people can say that they've spent their whole life knowing that they wanted to be a CEO. I can't really say that. I remember, being coached and mentored around confidence and, taking your seat at the table. So this has been a long journey, one that has been fueled by hard work, by dedicated focus and service, by some sacrifice. I don't have a family. I'm not married. It's been all of those things. But the most exciting thing about it is my ability to be able to reach back and show people that there is a path and there's a way to get to this seat. and to provide whatever help that I can possibly provide to get somebody else here. And I do a lot of that work, whether it's through my alumni association or, community organizations. It's a long journey, but it's a good one, and I'm excited to be here.
Wonderful. So many organizations struggle with diversity, equity, inclusion in their individual organizations. And so I'm curious how you're trying to put that into BECU and maybe advice you'd have for other organizations how to be better at that.
Well, the great news is I didn't have to put it into BECU. It was already here, and our great DEI leader is sitting in the front of the room, Jackie Martinez. This organization has been on its journey for several years now, and we see it in our representation. We see it in our employee resource groups. We have 10, and they're active. Today, we raised the Pride flag for Pride Month, so that was absolutely fantastic. So I love the work that we're doing, and I think the journey for all companies have been around 3 phases of DEI. The first one is just about educating people and getting people to start to talk the same language. The second phase is about, the ways that DEI shows up, so representation, equity. The third phase, which is I think where we are, is about how do you create belonging? How does everybody see themselves in that DEI story and know that all of it's for the purpose of the organization and the mission of the organization? And I think that's the phase we're in, and I'm excited about the next leg of this journey.
So let's talk about financial access as well, because that's a big part of your mission. I'm curious where you see that headed. And I know we have just a couple minutes left here, but how is BECU different in terms of providing that sort of financial access to maybe others, to those that hadn't had access to financial institutions before?
I talked about this being a patient partner, and I think access requires patience. So many times we look for, well, what's the return? Is this going to pay out? What's the lifetime value of that member? But sometimes the member's journey is longer than the journeys we typically see, and that return happens over a longer period of time. And I think credit unions are uniquely positioned to serve that space that's been lacking in the industry around who serves parts of the communities that are underserved today. And I think we can do that. We serve those members today, and we want to continue to do so with the right products, services, experiences. And then we want to be a beacon. We want to be a standard bearer for the industry to show people that there is a way to bring all communities along. And, we're just getting started. We've got work to do to understand what that even looks like. But I'm excited about what this could be for us and how we can educate an entire industry.
Well, that's great. I know we're at time, so let's hear it again for Bev Anderson.
Thank you so much, John.
Thank you, Bev. And I think we've got a quick video, and then we're going to be back with the rest of the BECU executive team to answer your questions.
That's right.
Thanks for a great discussion. Very inspiring.
Good to see you.
Great to see you.
Thank you.